Hello. The question is, how can we realize our potential? Meaning, how can we become the best that we can possibly be? How can we find fulfillment, increase our self-worth, be the best that we can possibly be? This question and these questions and others is what I want to talk about in this video. And I would like to ask you that if you do get some value from this video, if you would subscribe, if you would like, it would be really good. Thank you very much. Okay, my name is Morel Benard and I teach. I'm qualified in a number of subjects, law, psychology, education. I'll grab my board and you can read it, what it says, teacher. Okay, teacher. Morel Benard, psychology, law, education, criminology, training, and so forth. But our focus for lots of these motivational, inspirational talk is with psychology. Psychology is extremely a very useful subject and is very much about motivation and inspiration and so forth. So, okay, question, how can we realize our potential? Now, a psychologist by the name of Maslow, his work is very helpful in this area. And I'm sure that many of you have heard about Maslow. But I'm trying to simplify what I say about Maslow's work. He's got this thing called a hierarchy of needs. Okay, just like a ladder. The bottom of the ladder, the top of the ladder. So, at the top of this ladder, there's something called self-actualization, which means there is where we're going to realize our full potential. But if there's a top of the ladder, to get to the top of the ladder, we certainly have got to start down at the bottom. So, at the bottom of the ladder, there are lower needs. And from the lower needs, we're going to try to realize our potential by moving up the ladder. So, what are actually these lower needs? Okay, I will take an example and liken it. We've got a baby. Wonderful, beautiful baby comes into the world. Baby needs oxygen. Baby needs food. In other words, mother's milk. Yeah? Baby needs milk. Baby needs food. Baby needs to be able to do its natural thing with its toilet and so forth. Those things are physiological needs. Yeah? Now, linked to that are safety needs. If the baby, if the temperature in the house and the home isn't right, that can be put the baby's life at risk. So safety needs. So we've got the physiological needs and we have safety needs. Baby needs to be in a nice environment. Yeah. Baby needs to have shelter, need to have a home. And as we develop and we have the adult in front of us, if the adult doesn't have a home, if the adult isn't able to fend for self, if there are dangerous objects, dangerous situation, then all of those kind of things, and if the adult physiological needs, if the adult, of course, adult has a physiological need, if the adult is unable to have a good, healthy diet, yeah, physiological needs, water and the food and so forth, then all of these things are going to act as barriers to the adult realizing their full potential in life. Okay, so the physiological needs and we have the safety needs. So giving another example link with this, if you imagine that somebody is trying to get a job and they don't have a home, they're living in somebody else's, sleeping on somebody's couch, they're living in their car, they're living under a bridge, sleeping on the road, sleeping rough, then all of those things are going to make it very, very difficult and literally kind of like impossible, or very challenging to realize one's potential. So in order to realize potential, then we need to make sure that our physiological needs and our safety needs are being met. Yeah. And if we have to struggle, we have to strive, we just need to get those things done, because if basic needs are not in place, how on earth, can we then get up to the top of the ladder to be the best that we can possibly be? All right. Now, there's also needs such as love and belongingness. A young baby and adults, we need to be able to receive love. I'll say that one first. We need to receive love. And we need to be able to give love, because there's no point really if somebody's giving and giving and giving and we can't actually give. That's not good. That's not healthy. Yeah. So we need to be able to get love, and we should be able to give love and feel that sense of belonging. Now, I know sometimes that life can be very hard and we have people around us, but we're not receiving any love from them. I would say, though, that if you're one for giving love and you're not getting it, still give it. Yeah, just give it. Be like true to yourself. Don't actually behave negatively because others are behaving negatively towards you. Yeah, we need to have a sense of belonging. And once again, life can be hard. That we have a limitation. We have limited family connections. Death does take place in life, and if we don't have close people around us or close friendships, but we still need to strive. There are people out there, we need to try to make connections with others, and build good relationships. So we need to be able to give love, receive love, and feel a sense of belonging, whether it's direct family members or whether it's groups of people, friends, acquaintances. We need to be able to do that. As we go up the ladder, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have cognitive needs. And I want to spend a bit of time here on cognitive needs. Now, I am sure, that you have heard that the most successful people in life, they do a lot of reading. I've seen quite a few videos talking about, I won't name the names, but, that person's a billionaire and my gosh, he reads, sort of like 8 books in a week, and they read and they read. They are prolific readers, and that's fantastic, and I would encourage you to become the best that you can possibly be by reading. Now, the cognitive needs is saying we need knowledge. So if your interest in life is designing, then learn about the best way to make the shirt or the best way to make the skirt. We need knowledge and more knowledge and more knowledge. Now, when we read, and then we can get knowledge in all different ways. Directly, we get it indirectly if we're looking for it. So if you pick up a book, then you're directly trying to get knowledge through that sort of means. So when we read, it's not just about the reading. Reading means we need to get understanding. No point in just reading a read and say that we've read the book. What do we understand about the book? Now, it means that when we read, we need to read with a critical eye. It requires us to use thinking skills. Now, from time to time, I see a lot of negativity on social media and on other platforms, on other places, in the media, in the newspapers, But it says about schools are not actually doing what it should do, Okay. But yes, we go to school and we read, but the important part of this is the understanding, and that means to be able to critique what we read. And that really is about us learning some skills of how to do so. Now, one way of critiquing is to consider assumptions. Now, I hope that you're following me with this. Yeah, so I'm going to give an example. Assumptions. Assumptions are very dangerous. Yeah. Now, so the example is, we find a book, we hear that fantastic millionaire has sort of read this book and said that it's the best book, etc., etc. And we read the book, and we might actually assume that the person writing the book, whose name is on the book, the person whose name is the book, has actually written it. And that is an assumption. It may well be that at the very beginning of the book, it says that a ghostwriter has written it. So in other words, somebody else has written the book for Joe Bloggs. Yeah, Joe Bloggs didn't actually write the book herself. Or it might say that somebody's giving advice, and we assume that that person is the writer, the author, or the person giving advice verbally, that they are qualified, or forget about qualification, because not everything, that they are experienced, they have lived through that experience. They do have this fantastic business that they built from scratch. We might read the book, it might tell us that they've got this fantastic business, and we assume, that is so. It might never be. It might be that they're talking about it, but they've never run a business in their life. They have got that information from elsewhere, and we just take it on board and assume that they've actually got a business. So we need to be critical, when we read. Don't base things on assumption. Look further, inquire, research, thinking skills, and the thinking skills come from you. It is very difficult sometimes for somebody in the teaching role to say, this is it. You look at the strength of something. We say these things, but we need to take it, as learners. We need to take these things on board. We need to look at the strengths of the argument, and it's easy to say the strength of the argument, but you might not understand. So you just need to say, well, what is good about it? Don't just read something and say, oh, I like it. Why do you like it? What does it offer? Which means we need to think. And I think many of us sometimes, when we read, we are not really thinking. We're just looking at the words, but we're not doing critical thinking. And so in order to realize potential, we need to be using that wonderful computer, and that I'm talking about the brain. We've got a fantastic computer that we walk around with. We need to use that and do some thinking skills, because when we read, what we're learning, getting the knowledge, getting the understanding, are the same sort of skills that when you're doing a business deal, when you're hustling, when you're trying to create ideas, we use the same sort of thinking skills in order to then come up with brilliant ideas. So we read to get knowledge, and we need, when we read, to get understanding. If we're not getting understanding, then that is not going to help us to realize our potential. And I'll just repeat this a bit. Look for assumptions. Don't assume that because something is written down on paper that it is true. Don't assume because you pick up a book in the library or you see something written on the internet that it is true. You need to be thinking, what the person, look behind the words, in order to excel and to move up in life. Okay, so cognitive skills are very important in order to realize our potential. At the very top, back now to Maslow, that's all Maslow, but at the very top of this hierarchy of needs is a thing called self-actualization. Self-actualization means to be the best that you can possibly be, realizing potential, okay, according to Maslow, and many people would agree with him. So, to realize potential, we need to go through and satisfy the lower needs. Lower needs are satisfied, that means we can step up the ladder, go through our safety, go through our belongingness, love, etc. And there are other needs as well, but it's a short video. The other needs, I won't go into that, yeah. So, and at the very top is the self-actualization. To be the best, realize the potential, be the best that we possibly be, then we need to satisfy our needs. Yeah, do the best that we can. Okay, to give inspiration, motivation, and talks is fine, but in order for this to be realized, you need to take action. So, I'm a little bit of a poet. I write some words. So here are a few words for you. So, I started off with he, but it could be she is looking for motivation to make her dreams come true. She will listen to your advice, tell you that you're also Morel, okay, and say he's a hard worker just like you. But this guy, this woman, is a dreamer, so don't expect him or her to act. Taking action is not for him or her. He just wants to be you. A little bit tongue-in-cheek. What I'm basically saying, there are lots of motivational things going on, lots of inspirational, but they will only work. You can only be able to realize your potential if you then take action. Look around you. If it is that your, say, safety needs, are not being met, do your best. Sit and think how you can actually do something about that. If it is your cognitive needs that are not being met, find some way, some means, watch more videos, read, look at your phone and find information. And when you do so, I'm imploring you to think critically. Don't just be influenced because somebody else says something. Don't, Look, use that computer brain of yours and think and be critical. Okay, if you get value, please, subscribe and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.